Several years ago, a huge spaceship suddenly appears over the sky in South Africa, and no one knew why it came to Earth. The people assumed its engine is broken since it hasn't left a spot for days now. The army forces decides to enter the ship and check out the situation. Inside the ship, they were shocked with what they saw there. There was a group of skinny prawn-looking aliens inside of the ship, and the scientists made an estimate that they were about 1 million aliens. The government decides to evacuate the aliens to a place called District 9 in the city of Johannesburg. Primarily, the aliens were treated as refugees and the citizens were against this decision by the government. After several days of protests by the people, a company called MNU had been authorized to take over District 9. The company's plan is to relocate the aliens to a place far away from the city. Wikus, the person in charge of the evacuation project, is ordering his men to burn the aliens' cabins. In fact, the main purpose of this operation is to collect the aliens' advanced weapons. When this alien refugees came down from their mothership, they brought a lot of powerful alien weapons with them. But only the aliens can use these weapons, because the weapons must be activated by the aliens' DNA. Meanwhile, an alien called Chris is conducting researches with his alien friend named Paul. They have been synthesizing a special fuel for years, and this fuel is the key to power their spacecraft. Their aim is to make enough fuel to power their spaceship, so that they can return to their own planet. Just then, Wikus arrived at their cabin to give them an evacuation notice. Unwilling to leave the shack, they engaged in a fight with Wikus's troops, but Paul is killed and Chris runs away. Wikus entered into their cabin and found a lot of strange devices in there, realizing it's a lab. He found a metallic container and picks it up, but accidentally sprayed some black liquid on his face. Little does he know his fate will forever be changed by this. Back at home, Wikus and his family were celebrating his new appointment. He experienced some changed activities in his body system and he gradually collapsed on the floor. He wakes up and finds himself in a hospital. When the doctor removed the bandages, Wikus discovered that his hand had transformed into an alien hand. Upon learning the news, the company quickly sends a team to the hospital to take Wikus away for examination. Inside the company's lab, the scientists discovers that Wikus' body had been mixed with the alien DNA. After some tests, the scientists are amazed to find that Wikus is capable of using the aliens' weapons. For years, the company had been studying how to use the aliens' DNA to activate the weapons, but there was no progress. And now Wikus' body is a good study opportunity for them. So they decides to dissect Wikus. Realizing what's going to happen to him, Wikus fights back as hard as he can. In fury, he pushed the scientists away. He escapes from the company and goes back to District 9, where he wants to find a way to transform back into a human. There Wikus met alien Chris. Chris understands everything after he sees Wikus' hands. Chris tells Wikus his secret. A few years ago their mothership malfunctioned, so they decided to temporarily park on Earth, and their central control dropship accidentally fell to the ground. And the fuel he used to spray his face is actually the fuel used to power the dropship. With the fuel, Chris can drive the dropship back to the mothership, and then will use the equipments in the mothership to cure Wikus. So this made Wikus decides to work with Chris. They want to retrieve the fuel back from the company. With the help of the alien weapons, the two managed to get their way into the company's lab, where they found the fuel. On their way out, Chris discovers something terrible. He finds out that the scientists have been performing various experiments in their lab, and have killed a lot of his fellow aliens for their experiments. Just then, the company's security troops arrives, and the two of them are surrounded. Chris uses an electromagnetic bomb to blow up the walls and both get into a car and escapes from the lab successfully. Back at District 9, Chris told Wikus he have to return to his home planet first, and then lead a fleet to save his people. The fuel left is very few, so Chris told Wikus he's not going to use the fuel to cure his mutation for the meantime. It takes 3 years to drive from Earth to Chris's planet, and he promised Wikus that he will be back in 3 years to cure him. Wikus thinks he's been tricked, so he knocks Chris out. To heal himself, he have to drive the dropship to the mothership on his own. The dropship is successfully activated and is slowly heading to the mothership. Just then, the company's troops arrives and they shot the dropship down. They entered into the dropship and Wikus was captured by the troops. Suddenly, a local gang from District 9 appears and Wikus was saved. Wikus got to know that the gang had collected a lot of alien weapons, and they also want to know how to use them. So they needs Wikus' help. But the gang leader actually wants to eat Wikus' hands, thinking that it will give him the ability to use the alien weapons. Suddenly, Chris's son, CJ, who had been hiding in the dropship, remotely activates all the alien elements. The alien mech seized by the gang suddenly launched an attack, taking down all the gang members. The hatch of the mech suddenly opens, waiting for Wikus to get in. Wikus walked out in his mech. He spots Chris. At the moment, the company troops are interrogating Chris. They wants to know his plans. Wikus decides to rescue Chris and help him return to the dropship, as he has no choice. Wikus covers Chris while both of them runs towards the direction of the mothership. Due to receiving heavy fire, the mech is damaged. Wikus urges Chris to go, his son is waiting. Chris doesn't want to leave him behind, but he has to go. He remade his promise again to come back in 3 years and cure Riku's. Later Chris met his son at the dropship, which slowly ascends and successfully boards the mothership. The whole country watches as Chris and his son leave the planet. A few days later, Riku's had completely mutated into an alien. He can only live in the alien slum, waiting for the day Chris will return to save him. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications button, so as to get notified when next a video is uploaded.